have coverage. That's why I'm looking to bring somebody else in.
But then, of course, that is only one part of what they're going to be doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way that they can also be part of the nursing home doctors?
I can ask them. I don't know who the medical director is over there now. Is it Dr. Lewis? Is it? Okay.
I just got the impression that they, although I know that Dr. Braga is an internist, I just got the impression that they were here concentrating on acts of corrections, and not an overall. And I know that as Mr. Babson says, that they just could handle more than what they, biting into here.
Yes, Mr. Babson.
You wanted to, someone asked the figures?
Yeah.
We've spent through, if it matches up to the sheet we received, it's through
July.
7.5 months. We've spent $41,000 on meds. And I think the other thing that they pushed was the intangibles. So they're able to say you don't have to go to the hospital. Trying to think of the other things.
But if they're not here,
it was almost a soft savings. You can't put your finger on it until the year's over, and you can say, yes, I saved money. But they were going to save not so many trips to the hospital. They were going to reduce the cost of medicine. And they had another big factor here somewhere. I've got it in my notes.
and where are they going to operate from to say that we're not going to have to send people to the hospital?
I believe it was Concord, and their point was that they have to have somebody that can give them a verbal diagnosis over the phone, so that then they can say, okay, you've got to go to the hospital, or you don't have to go.
They needed a nurse for that.
And so they wanted to have a nurse on duty for that, not a correctional officer.
Mm-hmm.
They are on call just 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So even certain things, we still have the cost. They still have to go to the hospital.
Mr. Albee.
I know that there's an ongoing change or adjustment to the business plan at Huggins, and Les McLeod's now back in charge down there. But have we contacted them?
No, sir, I have not.
I think given the fact that they've got clinics, like Tamworth Family Medicine and Jillian Bonamano and some others around the county, that it might be worth a phone call, because they might be able to, now that you've gone through this process for a while, you have a pretty good idea of what the setup is and what the needs are, and present them with, this is our need, is this some need that you could satisfy as our local hospital?
Okay.
Because there's certainly doctors, and there are also a couple of physicians who I believe are going into private practice outside the hospital under a different model, if you will, taking private pay patients.
Who is the president over the hospital now?
McLeod.
Les McLeod.
Les McLeod. The other thing, and I'd like to take the opportunity to ask our representative Babson if we can't at some point craft a bill at the legislature that would clarify the insurance issues with prisoners. It doesn't often happen, but sometimes it does happen, and I remember one case in particular where it would have saved the county a significant amount of money. That when people, whether they're found guilty or they're just in jail pending trial, lose their insurance, lose their benefits, if you will, for whatever reason someone had.
That was tried before, like a couple of years ago, but I don't know what ever happened. It apparently failed.
But that would save all of the counties a lot of money. I mean,
yeah.
Not that all of these guys have insurance or benefits of any kind, but it certainly would take part of the pressure off of the local county governments.
You'd like to see the insurance company told they have to continue the coverage?
Yeah, that there's no exemption because you're in jail pending trial or in
Yeah.
jail for that matter. You know, if
They get sick whether they're out of jail or in jail.
yeah. I mean, I think the veterans' benefits end at some point there too, which is just as bad. It was particularly bad in one case that we had just a few years ago.
What you're saying, what you're saying is that private insurance companies do not pay when someone
I don't
goes into
believe
jail?
anybody, any insurance or other benefits.
I know, like Medicaid won't,
Right.
but private insurance, I was unaware that private insurance wouldn't. Did you know that?
I thought we tried to get money out of the private insurance companies. If our residents had insurance to start with, a lot of them don't.
I wasn't aware that the private didn't pay. I always knew that
And
Medicaid was.
it may be that they do, but I know that we had a problem with the veterans and we had.
Yeah, veterans
always had a
won't,
problem
nor
with
will
Medicare.
Medicaid.
Okay.
Can inmates go to walk-in clinics? They can just go to it? You can bring them to the walk-in clinics? Because there's one on the Route 16. It's also open on Saturday.
Their shackles.
It would become
Shuffling
a
tax.
transport issue, and then you'd lose control over
Hope so.
the physician prescribing medications to the county's policy.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you cannot go to a walk-in clinic?
You can, but you have no control over it, and you're talking about transportation issues.
Well, okay.
And I think you made a point at the meeting that most of these problems arise during the night.
That's when a lot of our
Yeah.
emergency
Many of
runs
the
are.
problems, maybe not most, but many of the problems arise at night when you don't have anybody on duty who can actually make a decision, and that's why you have to end up sending them to the hospital.
Correct.
Okay, any further questions or comments regarding that issue? If not, you got any other reports you want to give?
No, sir.
I did get your, well, I won't get into it because you have somebody here, right, from the House of Corrections? Yeah? No?
No.
Okay. We need to come up with some recommendations. We have one from Jason for the meeting to be held in October as a special awards from Carroll County. He has nominated somebody.
Oh,
We need to also nominate somebody who we think is capable and qualified to receive an award. Got any questions of Jason?
no.
Okay. Did you talk with the subcommittee regarding the perimeter fence?
I did not, sir. No, I did not.
Okay.
I think that would be at our next committee meeting. We'll bring it up.
Okay. You got another meeting scheduled?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Jason, then. Kathy, Gary?
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're skipping one, so Sandy McKenzie is not there.
Yeah, I got a note saying that she wouldn't be here because of moving
The
company is there to
offices?
move.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Got from Carol Jowdy, a memo and
Yep.
some,
Yep.
is that anything that you are gonna make some
We're
decisions
gonna
on,
take some action on her recommendation.
or? Okay,
That's the same one I showed you last week.
I think I have them.
okay, so
Okay.
you haven't yet made a
No, we
decision?
haven't talked about it yet.
Okay, all right.
So,
The ribbon cutting is Saturday,
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sandy's working on the program for speakers.
Yeah.
We have the three of you as speakers. I spoke with Representative Patton yesterday, and she'll speak briefly.
Okay, okay.
So,
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you have-
sure Councilor Burton
that's
can
what
speak off the cuff as he does quite often. I'm sure he'd be ready to say a few words too.
Okay. When I know Lisa's working with Sandy on the program.
Yeah.
As soon as we
Okay.
have it, we will get it to you so you can see.
Okay,
I'm sure it's not going to be very lengthy.
No. okay.
Just a few words. The Reverend will be there.
I see a good article in the Conway Sun regarding opening hours and so forth, opening on Saturday and on Sunday for open house, so people can go through. So, looks like we got pretty good publicity, at least in the northern part of the county. Yes, Mr. Babson?
I'm sure you're aware, Mr. Chairman, that the Carroll County Republican Committee has also scheduled exactly the same time of clam bake, so.
I think that's at 11 o'clock.
Lobster.
I think that's at 11. That's politics. We don't talk about politics here.
No, well, my
I know
suggestion was going to be that you maybe put some pressure on some of the representatives to make sure they're here.
Oh. I
Well,
see.
we do know that some are coming. I don't have the full list. Lisa is keeping track of the list of, and some aren't able because they have their travel plans.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's it for me. Robin said she does not have anything for non-public or public unless you
Okay.
would need to see her.
So we need to take it out?
Yeah, she
For
doesn't.
non-public.
Yeah, she unless you need to speak
But she
with
needs
her.
to be here when
Well,
Lieutenant
she wasn't
Santucci-
sure if you wanted me to sit in or
Okay.
her to sit in.
You take them then, okay.
Are you going to take?
Yeah, she'll take the non-public meeting minutes,
For the next meeting.
okay. I guess at this time, I'd open it up to the general public again for any comments or issues that you think we should be addressing. So, anybody from the public, any further comments? Yes, Mr. Babson?
I had 3 questions for Commissioner Solomon on her statement about all the homes that were without cars, but I guess she's out of the meeting.
Okay.
She's back.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
I got some questions for you in the public session.
I do apologize.
Commissioner Solomon, you made the statement that from some study there that there were 750 homes in Carroll County with no cars.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yes.
Does it, do your figures show exactly how many actually don't want cars?
No, I'm sorry, it doesn't say that.
Does it show
I'm just looking for
how
that.
many of them are in rural homes and how many are in Conway or somewhere where they may not need the transportation?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does.
And what does it say?
What do you want to know?
What it says?
Well, it breaks down Carroll County by town.
Okay.
So each town tells you how many households there are and how many are without vehicles in that particular household. The largest one that has is Conway. They have 3,783 households and 299 of them without vehicles.
Now, Commissioner, does that, if you have an apartment house and you have 2 families living in it and one has a car and one doesn't, does that count as
Housing units.
Half a car.
housing units?
Yeah.
Okay. And the last question is, out of the 750 homes, does it tell you how many actually don't have licenses, so wouldn't need a car?
Well, let me just see, there's another one. No, this one doesn't, but let me just see what this says. There's something else about transport.
All licenses in full.
Oh, commute to work, it said. I have one that does a commute to work.
You need to sign that.
And they go by car, truck, or van, public transportation, obviously, we don't have any yet.